everybody. My name is Zivile Simkute, and as Visvaldas presented, I will be talking about research done in our Institute of Environmental Engineering. The project lead is actually Visvaldas Veržinskas, so he would be also perfect explaining the results of the research. It's an ongoing research. And my goal today is to present what has been done so far. What was the question of the research, the problematics that was laid out by the research group and by our master student, and then what kind of conclusions did we get from this research. So as you can see, the theme is indicators on circular economy in cities, Kaunas city experience. So after signing of Urban Agenda or the Pact of Amsterdam, thematic partnerships were formed, and one of the partnership was a partnership on circular economy. And this partnership is a combination of different stakeholders, both cities or representative for cities, NGOs, and so on. And this partnership identified that so far there is no unified systems how cities can assess circularity or match each other. So there are lots of methods that cities use. There are very different. Results are different, but there isn't one baseline which would allow us to understand the situation. And as the previous speaker said, maybe circular economy is a utopian future, but still, as we are trying to achieve as much of it as possible to go from linear to circular, there needs to be some kind of system that would help us assess where we are and where are we going. So therefore, an assessment of the effectiveness of circular economy measures in cities requires a system of circular economy indicators. So exactly this partnership started working on this assessment. So a lot of different documents were reviewed, and issue and mapping paper was provided where a list of suggested indicators was laid out, explaining what could be measured, what is the theme, what kind of information is collected, who collects it already, is the data available? So there's a huge source of information from which cities could just take and apply different kind of indicators by themselves. There is a short list, and then there is a long list of indicators. So this set of indicators became a base for Kaunas researchers to start thinking about a model by which cities could assess their progress. What kind of indicators do cities have already? Maybe there is a way, maybe in levels, maybe in some kind of grading, how we could understand which cities are doing better than others. So the idea of researchers in our institute was to make analysis of circular economy measures applied in cities, to analyze the good examples, also, of course, to analyze this paper that was issued, to develop a system of indicators for the circular economy and a model for measuring the efficiency of cities, and then to check the efficiency of the developed indicator systems by using data of Kaunas city. So we're not only trying to theoretically have a look at what kind of things we could measure, but also try to see what is measured here at home in Kaunas, to look at strategic documents and so on. I'll explain about the model later. And then to present conclusions and give recommendations for further developments of the circular economy indicator system, on one hand to the European Commission, and on the other hand to local administration of Kaunas municipality. So the idea of a model was based on the principles of environmental performance assessment standard, and then the global reporting initiative, the model works like that first an inventory analysis of circular economy performance and available data is made. So first of all, we look at what kind of data is collected by the stakeholders, and stakeholders are the producers, the consumers, maybe municipal agencies, and so on. And then we look at the strategic documents, and strategic documents are extremely important because here different set of indicators is laid out, which local administration needs to achieve. And therefore, to achieve them, there are different kind of measures, there are different kind of programs that are being implemented. So the indicator is straightforwardly connected to the different kind of programs that are being developed in the city. So we have a look at these strategic documents and this data provided by the stakeholders. And then based on the selection of indicators of circular economy, we have a look, rate them by levels, saying that if you have a lot of indicators in your strategic documents, and then if you're collecting them and have programs to achieve these indicators, then you have our grade B, A, B, C, or D. And then we measure evaluate the efficiency of how these programs are being implemented. This information that is collected is supported by the statistical data, and we have a look at also the reliance of the data, how it is collected, and then we place it into the model. And then based on this analysis, based on what kind of theme cities maybe have indicators that they collect, or maybe some themes are missing, recommendations for local administration or local agencies that are implementing or trying to achieve these indicators are being given. So, and then these could be placed into further strategic documents, or new projects could be created to match, to start collecting this data and try to make the situation better. And then, of course, is the monitoring of circular economy performance. So then there's data and see how cities are doing. And then it is suggested that the timing, like how often this analysis is made, of course, is based on local situation. So if our strategic documents are being revised every 6-7 years, or maybe they're revised every 3 years, so it totally depends on the context. And then the results of the monitoring goes back to the inventory analysis, and then it also results in new statistical data, and then you go round and around in a circular way. The indicator list that was proposed by our researchers was based on the paper from the partnership. So these are this is not the short list, but these are the most common indicators that usually cities collect. And then it was proposed that if a city, for example, in terms of production and consumption, takes out more indicators that show the progress that they're doing, then they're higher level, or if they have less indicators showing their progress, then it is a lower level. So this is the list. So how it was done in Kaunas. So to begin with, as explained in the model, we review the different documents provided by the city. So one, where we can find indicators and where we can find data. So first is the economic development program, and then it was identified that only 4 out of 69 indicators are related to circular economy. Then we look at the other kind of programs like Smart and Civil Society Education Program, and out of 398 indicators, only 9 are related to circular economy. So Sustainable Spatial and Infrastructure Development Program, 13 out of 118 indicators are related to the program. So, this information is collected from the Kaunas City Strategic Development Plan and then Kaunas City Strategic Action Plan. And these documents are very important because everything else connected to it are connected to it in municipality. For example, the implementation of the program of implementation of the comprehensive plan of the city, which is revised every 10 years, or now became unterminated from 2014. That is also must be always connected to the strategic plan. Therefore, this identification of the key documents where that become kind of a baseline from to which everything else connects. That is also very important, and something that was also valuable for our researchers. Then, of course, also a lot of statistical data was collected. That is, Stad.lt is a national system where municipalities or different kind of agencies provide different kind of information. And all in all, after having a look of how Kaunas is doing in all the strategic documents, what kind of data is collected, we assessed that the efficiency of Kaunas city in implementation circular economy measures can be assessed at only level D. So based on this thorough analysis, which is actually pretty simple, it looks pretty simple. Of course, having a look at all the documentation and trying to connect different kind of programs, if they're actually being implemented, and then what kind of results they are giving, and then what kind of data are we getting out of them, is pretty complex, but the model is pretty understandable. And that was the main idea, to create some kind of a flexible system that cities could adapt by themselves, and that could start understanding where they are, and for European Union for European Commission to understand where other cities stands, and maybe to provide thematic funding accordingly to the themes that are lacking. So based on this all analysis, recommendations were given for also for Kaunas municipality, and also some other conclusions for themselves. So some proposals were made. So first of all was to integrate strategic documents of Kaunas, Council of Europe measures, and circular economy measures and activities that are weakly implemented or not at all managed or not measured by the indicator systems in these thematic areas and categories. So these are the three categories that they were zero or very little progress. So one is initiate measures for food waste generation, accounting and management. So 0 out of 4 indicators analyzed in Kaunas. Initiate measures and monitoring of efficient use of city resources. So 0 out of 2 indicators analyzed in Kaunas. And promote waste recycling and ensure monitoring of the effectiveness of measures. So 1 out of 6 indicators are analyzed in Kaunas. So just by identifying that we are not reaching, we don't even consider some kind of targets, it already gives a red flag that there are areas where we could improve our strategic documentation, and also maybe there are some things that are being done. It's just that we don't collect the information, and the information here is very important. If you talk about progress, not only on a company scale, but also on a city scale or even region scale. And then align the measurement units of the existing Kaunas indicators with the proposed in the system of indicators due to the possibility to compare with other cities. So if we are, let's say, grade D, if other cities also do this kind of analysis, we can start comparing and we can start improving the model, and we can start comparing not only the indicators, but also the measures that are being taken to improve those indicators. So all in all, this was our research, and this still continues. And one of the master students made a master thesis exactly about this. And yes, so if you have any questions, please let us know, and we'll be very happy to talk more about the system that we are working on.